So Samsung's flipping huge Galaxy S20 launch is less than a month away now, which of course means that last year's flagship phone, the also flipping huge Galaxy S10 Plus, should hopefully be getting some sexy discounts soon. Sammy's flagships are rather pricey when they first hit stores, but give them a bit of time and that cost does finally come right down. And 1 year on, the Galaxy S10 Plus is still a great smartphone, as long as you like them large. Now, I've been using the Galaxy S10 Plus on and off for the last 12 months, and for the previous week I've had my SIM stashed in there full time just to see how well it's aged. So here's my 1 year later Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, when I first reviewed the Galaxy S10 Plus, it seemed rather ludicrously huge, but now that 6.4-inch screen is actually pretty average as far as size goes. And considering the skinny bezels around this thing, it really isn't any more cumbersome to wield than pretty much any other handset out there. And I'll tell you what, that dedicated one-handed mode is definitely a load off when you're busy struggling down the street with armfuls of bags or a small child. Of course, like pretty much all glass phones these days, the S10 Plus is a slippery wee blighter, so using it one-handed over a concrete floor is a little nerve-wracking. I've certainly seen a fair few of these things crack to bits in my time, so I'd highly recommend, if you're going to pick one up, to grab some sort of protective case or cover. After all, they ain't cheap. I have kept mine naked the whole time I've had it, and it is actually doing pretty well as far as scratches go. I've shoved it in a backpack loads of times and generally treated it with utter disrespect, and besides a couple of nicks on the screen, it's basically still fresh. Not too surprising really, as that back end is Gorilla Glass 5 and the display is Gorilla Glass 6. Admittedly though, there is little in the way of frills or flair here, and that edge design has kind of lost its impact now that most of Samsung's rivals have basically lifted it wholesale. But the Galaxy S10 Plus does at least still look pretty damn smart, as long as you give it the occasional bit of buffing to get rid of all that finger muck. And speaking of that display, it is still the highlight of the Galaxy S10 Plus. Samsung's dynamic AMOLED tech is simply stunning, even a full year on. I never get bored of slapping on a bit of Netflix and letting those vibrant visuals just smack me right in the chops. Naturally, you have full HDR support to produce natural looking colours and sharp contrast, although unfortunately Samsung is steadfastly sticking to HDR10 Plus rather than the much more widely supported Dolby Vision format. You can still watch standard HDR content on the likes of Netflix, and of course you can shoot your own HDR10 Plus content on the Galaxy S10 Plus and then watch it back on that display, but he's hoping that Samsung gives us a bit of Dolby Vision love in the next round of smartphones, the Galaxy S20, whatever they end up being called. I just wouldn't hold your breath. Like most flagship phones, you've got quite a bit of control over the screen as well, from the resolution to the colour output, complete with the standard eye comfort modes and other shenanigans. Of course, rivals like the OnePlus 7T now offer a 90Hz refresh rate as well, which makes everything look buttery smooth, even when you're just flicking about on the UI. To be fair though, here on the S10 Plus, it's only really a miss when you've been using the OnePlus 7T and then you come over to this handset from that one. And while some people really tuck against Samsung's cutout camera, it's nowhere near as intrusive as something like the iPhone's chunky notch. That corner position at least means it very rarely gets in the way, even when you're kicking back with some full screen video. And Samsung's Galaxy S10 Plus is just as satisfying on the audio front as well, with a dedicated stereo speaker setup, an actual proper headphone jack, and dependable Bluetooth connectivity as well. So yeah, it may lack some more modern features like that 90Hz refresh rate, but Samsung's mighty mobile definitely still has some serious media chops in 2020. And here's hoping the new Galaxy S20 serves up a variable refresh rate and maybe perhaps some Dolby Vision support to really boost those creds. Now, it's strange to think that Samsung's OneUI is already 1 year old. Strange and slightly terrifying when you ponder the ceaseless flow of time and our own inevitable mortality. Sadly, I'm still waiting on an Android 10 update for the S10 Plus, and in fact updates in general have been seriously lagging, which seems to be a common issue with unlocked Samsung phones. Thankfully, OneUI is still a pleasure to use, with plenty of customization features so you can tweak and fiddle to your heart's content. All of the features you'd expect to be present are, including a bit of always on display action, a nifty game launcher, and some helpful gesture support as well, while the likes of the Bixby Routines tool adds some satisfying automation to the S10 Plus in general. And the combination of ultrasonic fingerprint sensor and face recognition still works well, especially now that Samsung has updated the S10 series to fix that rather critical flaw that basically let anyone unlock your phone if you had a screen protector installed. To be honest though, nothing much has really particularly changed or been added to the S10 Plus, certainly nothing noteworthy anyway, so if you want to have an in-depth look at some of those software features, just go check out my original Samsung Galaxy S10 tips and tricks guide. And of course, performance is still unsurprisingly a winner even a full year on. On top detail settings and with maximum frame rate enabled, PubG Mobile still plays like an absolute dream with this Exynos model. And you get that aforementioned game launcher feature to help keep you focused by blocking notifications, while also adding tools like a proper screen recorder. Now, when I first reviewed the Galaxy S10 Plus, the subject of battery life was a bit of a sore point. It seems like all of our American cousins who were busy reviewing the Snapdragon model were boasted about this incredible longevity, whereas us stuck with the Exynos model were less than impressed. The Exynos version often just about made it through a full day, but thankfully things have actually improved over the past 12 months, possibly down to those various Samsung software updates. These days I often still have around 20% life remaining even at the end of a busy day, with plenty of screen on time and media streaming. Definitely a proper relief, especially as most of the Galaxy S10 Plus's rivals offer at least a day and a half of battery life between charges. And of course you've got the less than stellar 15-watt fast charge here on the S10 Plus, which again lags behind many of the competition. Although you do at least get full support for wireless charging and of course that power share feature as well, which is handy if you've got the likes of the Samsung Galaxy Buds stuffed in your backpack. So overall, the S10 Plus has aged pretty damn well, but what about the all-important camera tech? Well, slapped on the back of the phone you have a 12 megapixel primary lens with dual aperture setup, joined by an ultra-wide angle and telephoto lens, like many flagship phones and even budget-friendly mobiles these days. Your everyday photos look absolutely fine. Detail levels are strong enough for viewing back on a big screen, and tricky contrast is generally handled well, although the S10 Plus has been far surpassed by the Pixel 4, and earlier Pixels as well with the subsequent software update. Colours are boosted at quite vivid levels at times using that scene recognition mode, which I personally enjoy, but you can always knock off that setting if you want more natural hues. And if you like a good portrait mode, the S10 Plus still delivers some great looking bokeh action. And thankfully Samsung has finally seen the light and actually added a dedicated night mode to the Galaxy S10 Plus as well to cope with those low light situations. Night snaps taken with the auto mode are still ropey at best, with that high aperture setting producing artificial looking shots which are marred by flaring and other issues. But swap to the new night mode and the overall image is brightened in those murky areas, with lighter elements for the most part tempered. It's no Pixel night sight, and Huawei is still better in this department, but it's definitely a respectable effort. And Samsung's flexible multi-lens setup definitely comes in handy at times, and I do adore the dramatic photos that you can capture with that ultra-wide angle lens, although the results from the telephoto lens, which tops out at a meager 2x optical zoom level, look kinda rubbish compared with the mighty periscope zoom from Huawei and Oppo. But where Samsung still excels compared with most of the competition is definitely the video chops. You can shoot beautifully crisp 4K resolution home movies at up to 60 frames per second, complete with full HDR smarts, which really make a difference when contrast is proven particularly troublesome. In fact, Samsung's S10 and Note series tops my list of the best video recording smartphones that you can buy right now in 2020. So have a gander at that if you want to know more. And so, one full year after its launch and just ahead of the big S20 reveal, would I still recommend Samsung's mighty Galaxy S10 Plus? Well, it is definitely still a decent all-around smartphone, but the major sticking point for me is the fact that even 1 year after launch, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus will still cost you 800 quid from 800 quid from most UK retailers, and that's just too expensive. You can sometimes find yourself a better deal if you really shop around, but it won't be much of a shaving off the original cost. The likes of the OnePlus 7T, for instance, cost a few £100 less than the Galaxy S10 Plus and offers some of those cool modern features like the 90Hz refresh rate. But that said, the Galaxy S20 is just around the corner, and when that bad boy launches, maybe the S10 Plus will tumble in price. So if you find it for more around that sort of £500 mark, I'd say definitely dive on in. And now over to you, fine folk. Have you been using the Galaxy S10 Plus, and if so, what have your experiences been so far? Positive, negative, or a bit mixed? Definitely slap your comments down in the comments box below, and please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!